This little sweetheart is Mini-Me, and we've already worked with Mini-Me, and although her guardian is I don't think is giving her credit for the progress, I definitely noticed a change in her behavior. She is still not super social, but she is not as fearful as she was before. Now, Mini-Me Mini-Me's guardian works where she lives. And so we have clients that come in here, which I think, because she is insecure about other people, I think that sometimes causes problems as well. So I think she's, for the most part, fearful and overwhelmed. And just like us, if we're fearful and scared to death, we're not going to be in our best. So what I want to do is start breaking things down into individual steps so she can process them one at a time. One of the first things I'd like to do is I'd like to have the assistant, who is actually filming me right now, start building a relationship with Mini-Me. Now, the way I'd like to accomplish this is when the assistant shows up, I'd like the guardian to have Mini-Me on the leash and the harness. The assistant's going to take Mini-Me. We have multiple floors here in this building. And she's going to go to the bottom floor or the second floor and start walking Mini-Me from the elevator to the end of the hallway and then back to the elevator, go to the next floor and repeat the process until she eventually comes back up to the top floor. Once she does that, she's going to be probably a little bit, she's going to be overwhelmed, or not overwhelmed, but probably need a little bit of recovery period. And that's fine. So then she'll go back to the guardian, and the guardian has a little, now not on top of the guardian's desk, but just a little pillow behind the desk. And then we're going to give her a chance to kind of sleep and recover. A little bit later on that day, I'd like the assistant to spend at least a half an hour with Mini-Me. So we're going to take Mini-Me up to the assistant's office, and we're going to use the leash because Mini-Me has a tendency to bark and run away, or bark and scratch at the door, I want to go out. She's demanding things. We're going to have to block her a little bit. This is a technique called flooding. So what we're going to do is either step on the leash, or we're going to have the assistant kind of tether her right nearby. This doesn't give Mini-Me the ability to bark and run away and feel comfortable doing that. So we'd like to do that for about a half an hour. And what we should start to see is Mini-Me calming down progressively more and more. Now, the assistant is a female, and she said, well, it seems counter to my, when we're talking about this, counter to my intention, or what seems natural to me, that I should be petting her and teaching her I'm a good person. We just want her to get used to being near us. I don't think she understands how to do that, and so we need to help her develop some social skills. And we just want to put her in a position where all she has to do is sit and lie down, and that's it, nothing else. What we should notice is she should start sitting and laying down faster. And instead of shaking or kind of breathing heavy, relaxing. You should see less tension in the body. And I'd like to continue doing that for about a 2-week period. Now, I might need to go a little bit longer than that. Now, for the walk, let's talk about the walk a little bit more. I'd like to continue doing the hallways for a 2-week period, and then after that, the assistant has found if she picks up the dog and walks away from the building and then turns around and walks back, Mini-Me will walk with her. If she tries to walk away from the building, the dog refuses. And that's a technique that I've used as well, and it's a really good way to go about it. But when we start doing that and Mini-Me is really flustered and upset, then we might want to go and add an extra week to walking the halls. And we might end up making just walking the halls first, and then we go out outside for a little bit. But dogs learn to get over things by moving forward, so I think by developing a relationship with the assistant, where the assistant's not trying to pet or do anything other than walk the dog is eventually getting to get a routine of doing it and feel comfortable doing so. And then we're going to, of course, have the assistant have her spend some time in the office each time that the assistant is here. We also don't want to have Mini-Me around clients, or if we're having a party. That's going to be overwhelming for her, and that's going to put her in a position to fail. So we would want to have her go to the assistant's office during those times. And that way we make sure that, and the more time that she spends in the assistant's office, the more comfortable she'll be there, then eventually that becomes a safe place. Now we're going to talk about how we can help develop other safe places and kennel train Mini-Me so she looks at the kennel as her safe place to go in the next video.